Today, I'm drinking some River Aged Whiskey with this guy.
How we doing?
The Spirit Box.
I'm with Mr. Scott Beyer from Old Age Ingram Whiskey. And it's a pleasure because this is gonna be a really good episode, and I'm so excited because I'm a geek like him.
Like me, that's right.
I feel very happy and very excited that I'm gonna try all these beautiful expressions.
We got some awesome stuff on the lineup today, that is for sure.
What does river aging encompass?
Yeah, so obviously the first one is motion. I think that's what everyone's mind goes to. If you think about one of these bottles as a barrel, just that constant gentle motion, right? It creates more interaction between the whiskey and the oak. Being on the water, we have high humidity all year round, so we're seeing osmotic pressure being forced on the barrel. The wood sugars are interacting in a different format that you typically see in a drier warehouse on land. And then we have these big temperature swings. So we'll go from 130 degree days in the summer, and then that same night, the river is going to pull all that heat out of the steel of the barge. And so it'll drop 40 degrees in a day.
That's a violent change.
So you're seeing, it might not make a ton of difference in a day, but that barrel is breathing that entire time. But year over year, it starts to compound.
It's a compounding effect. It stacks on top of each other.
When you get to a 4, 5, 6 year whiskey, based off of our controls that we have on land to what you're trying today, you would see arguably a huge impact in terms of a flavor profile.
Absolutely.
Richer, deeper. There's a lot more complexity to a lot of our whiskeys, and we obviously believe it's because of what we're doing on the river.
Absolutely.
And so those are the three main talking points typically, but there are other things beyond that I usually shy away from because you only have 30 seconds to a minute talking to a consumer about why your whiskey matters, right?
You gotta make the biggest impact I did cold sales from people coming out of the supermarket at some point. They went to get milk, and I had to sell them these freaking telephones. And I was like, you gotta learn how to make an impact in 5-10 seconds.
Yeah, you got a hook, right? But beyond that, our barges right now, we have 2 of them. They each hold about 3,000 barrels, and they're tied off together. So if we're seeing based off of where the sun's hitting the barge, the airflow, if we like a certain area of the barge, the way it's maturing, we can turn those barges around and then get that same impact from the sun exposure on the opposing side. So now all of a sudden you're creating a little bit more balance between these honey spots, as people like to call them, whether we're doing single barrel picks or if there's certain profiles that I've really enjoyed blending together. So that's like a fun side tangent and a benefit because we are also the only distillery where we can move our rickhouses around if we want to.
Man, what a tedious job you have.
Yeah, it's a real bummer. And then I think this is it's still relatively new. One thing that's been frequently studied right now, they've done a couple different experiments throughout the past 2 years, was airflow and the importance of airflow. And I won't get into other distilleries and their rickhouses and how airflow is impacted with them, but a barge is, in Hank's elegant words, a giant bucket on the water, right? So you have to walk down into it. All of our ventilation is in the coaming of our barges because you obviously, if you want your barge to float, it has to be above that. Yeah, it's important. Because of that, we have a large centralized fan that's pulling all the vapor up from the bottom of the barge.
That's so interesting.
So that alone is something I'd like to study more because, truthfully, at this point, we don't really know how that ventilation of the denser vapors coming off the alcohol, how it's moving. We just know that it is moving. And for maturation, the ability to have those barrels breathe is an important part. We're playing with a lot of different factors. It's not just one. So to say that it's just one variable that's creating the difference it would be an understatement. Because
exactly, you have so many variables and so many, even the season itself, the changes and fluctuations on how every year the seasons are different probably plays even an impact.
Yeah, I mean, the elevator pitch for that is really, we've created this intense microclimate and we subject these barrels to this really harsh environment. and it's yielded really positive results. So that is my hook for people that come up to our tables at events or seeing someone out in the marketplace.
It's interesting that in nature, stressing something always makes something produce something. Like if you think about wine, how grape growers, they stress that grape and they just give it enough water to survive so that it genetically and nature makes them just create this plum clear, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stress environments create marvelous things.
Yeah, so there's definitely an argument to say that, the stress put onto these barrels and this whiskey has done something similar. I think it's also important that people don't just take my word for it, they actually try our whiskeys.
Absolutely.
I think that's the most important thing, and I think despite people thinking it's a gimmick or whatever, fine, have your opinion, but try it before you decide that it is a gimmick. I think that's...
Yeah, which I think, while we keep talking about this, we should taste one of... I think we should start with your 105 proof bourbon.
Sure. Yeah.
This is going to be a wheated bourbon, guys. This is going to be the Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 105 proof. That sounded nice. Let me fill your
it's
glass.
A good... Thank you. So this is actually the newest label design. Shout out to Hank Ingram for changing our labels every year and making my job just that much more difficult. But if you happen to see a blue label that looks like our rye red label, don't worry. It is the same mash bill. It is still 105 proof wheated bourbon. It just is our older design.
Which I'm glad that you break the mold and you don't go for a green label for rye.
Yeah, we're not the brightest bulbs at OH Ingram, so we make it easy. So red for rye, blue for bourbon, and it works.
Yeah, red and blue, baby.
And then, so this is a 21 wheat, 70 corn, 9 malted barley, and everything in front of us here has been aged on the river its entire life.
That's awesome.
So this is going to be, it'll average out to be about 4.5 years old.
You start at 4 and then you blend 4, 5, and 6, something like that?
So this is a finer selection of barrels, so super small batch blend, but if you're taking the average of both of those mash or those lot codes, it ends up being about 4.5 years old. All of our 105 proof and 98 proof whiskeys, they're usually between 12 to 16 barrels for a batch.
So small batch.
So super small batch. So when I say a finer selection, the smaller the ratio, the more impactful each barrel has on the totality of the whiskey.
Of the batch itself, yeah.
So it is a little bit more painstaking. People will often say like, oh, you have a tough job. I'm like, sometimes I do, because when we do these, I pull 100 samples at a time and going through and try.
It's a funny statement. We tend to say these things as a funny thing, but there are probably times that you have to face a lot of heat being inside of those Rickhouses, and it's not all glory and freaking.
I don't always get to come out here and do fun stuff like this. You know what I mean? So
you spend a whole bunch of time in solitude.
I do. I think the title for a blender is really just. It's really just understanding your warehouse more than anything else. Being able to know where all your lot codes are and
absolutely
understand the profile of each barrel.
You have a ball that says Wilson that is like with the...
It's my only friend. Yeah.
This has a phenomenal nose. I love how rich it is.
Yeah.
Intense in the best possible way. Not intense because I don't want it to sound overwhelming intense.
No.
It's intense in a very, I know what I'm getting into now.
Yeah, it's rich, sweet.
Sweet. It's crazy how you get the sweetness on the nose.
Yeah.
I love it. And you get some citrus notes, some zest over there. And a little bit of orange. Even chocolatey too.
Yeah.
Damn, let's dig in.
Cheers.
Cheers, brother. Damn, that's a good whiskey.
Yeah.
You can get a little bit of that spice.
Because wheat is such a soft grain. I will say of our lineup, this is one of, if not the most balanced, right? Like it's heavy mouthfeel. It's really nice and chewy.
You can get into that Kentucky chew really well.
Yeah.
Man, this is phenomenal. And at 105 proof, I'm a big proof lover myself.
Okay.
I like high proof stuff.
Yeah.
I typically drink from bottled and bond up. I'm not that it's like I'm a proof queen and whatever, but I like high proof.
Yeah. I feel that. I mean, everything has its place, right? Like the Uncharted, it's good for what it is.
With the purpose, of course.
It's a cost value product, and it's meant to be everywhere. And thanks to Joe off screen here, it is everywhere in Texas. And growing.
I mean, is this probably the bartender's friend?
Yeah,
that's what it's meant to do, probably in the lineup.
But as far as a neat pour for our core products, so the 105 proof, the 98 proof, even the Uncharted, they weren't based around profitability or any sort of economics. They were based off of a flavor profile. We liked this cross section of a slightly higher proof, but a fuller body as far as the whiskey goes. It's not bitey. It's not overwhelming.
No, it's just
nice,
right,
whiskey.
Man. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
and
so,
I love the fruit notes, the chocolate, the burnt sugar. It's so delicious.
Thank you. Yeah. So we worry about the quality first, and then we figure out how to make money afterwards.
That's an interesting motto, because I honestly wish more people would do that.
Now, is it effective? I don't know, but
I'm a firm believer that you do something and you put the intention and you put great effort and product and the idea and the passion, and then the money follows.
Yeah.
So,
still waiting on that part, but you know what? The whiskey's good, and that's
iron wheel.
Yeah.
Guys, we need a lot more from you.
No, this isn't a shot. We're doing okay, but if you do want to buy a bottle, it wouldn't hurt.
But we have this GoFundMe. People, and I'm pretty sure you're tired of this, but people coming to you. So, what differentiates you from Jefferson's Ocean?
Yeah. That is probably the number one question at events and stuff. I love what Jefferson's has done. Believe it or not, Hank didn't know about this. Was truly parallel thinking to a degree.
That's crazy cool.
So Jefferson started their project long before we did. Hank in 2014, 2015 didn't really know a ton about whiskey to really know that other brands were doing any sort of water aging experiments. And so I would say the biggest difference between us and Jefferson's is they are far more focused on the journey that their whiskey goes on, which is super cool. I've got quite a few of the different voyages at home.
Nice.
I definitely have favorites. And then for us, we take all new fill. They come to our barges next day, and then we let them age there for the entirety of their lives. It's really focusing on long-term maturation in this contained environment for an extended period of time.
Exactly.
And it started as an experiment. It's still an experiment. I've got some other projects that I started last year that I'm really looking forward to.
Oh, I'm so excited. If you come back to Houston, you got to bring them.
Give me 4 years, and
I'll be waiting for you.
I'll have some final results of them, and then beyond that, doing finishes this year is something that we're probably gonna look into, but not like mainstream stuff. I love a Madeira cask finish. At my former job, that was like one of my favorite things that we ever came out with. Granted, that was with a high rye bourbon versus a wheated, but still just that nice sweetness and red fruit that comes from that cask. And
it's a very peculiar like fig red fruit. It's a crossbreed of fig raisin with red fruit dehydrated. It's amazing.
Yeah. Not to say that we would never do some sort of fortified wine finish. Because I would happily take those barrels if they were less expensive. But in the meantime, we've got some fun stuff that we're playing with, and I think it's probably fine to say we're working on a sorghum finish this year. So I'm getting this because you harvest sorghum at the beginning cold of the winter season. Okay. So they'll harvest in October for their sorghum. Well, I guess that would be fall. And then they'll go and do their cook and stuff like that. And so my plan is to use 3 of our spent barrels and coat it with some syrup. And
that sounds amazing.
So yeah, it could be good. It could be terrible. Like there's only one way to find out. And there's not really a ton of course correction when it comes to a single barrel, obviously. But if we were to do this sorghum finish and it doesn't turn out great on its own, I think there's a good chance marrying up sorghum and a honey together would probably balance it out a little bit more. Because sorghum molasses. It is like, sugarcane to an extent. It is a little earthy and it's rich and it's got a little funk to it. So
that's
like
not
everyone's cup of tea. I personally love that.
Yeah.
But we're not making whiskey for me. We're making it for the people.
It's always hard, because I enjoy a lot of those crazy flavors myself too, and I enjoy a lot of cocktail stuff that I'm like, and then I gotta take a step back when I'm making cocktails. Okay.
Yep.
I like this funky, crazy stuff, but
at the end of the day,
are the people ready?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
And unfortunately, a lot of times they aren't. Like Dunder Heavy Jamaican rum's still one of my favorite things to just have at the house. And I a lot of times if I have friends over or my roommate has friends over, that's always like one thing that I will always be like, hey, if you want to try something crazy, this is what I've got for you.
I always like to ask people and push their boundaries too, especially with agave spirits too. Because people, all they think about is tequila and mezcal, and that's it. And dude, you have some really cool stuff.
Pechuga.
Yes, Pechuga, and so I work a lot with a mezcal brand called Local.
Okay,
and we have a Pechuga, but it's a vegan Pechuga.
Interesting.
It's distilled. It's the Pechuga consists of the heart of the agave and 4 fruits, and it's quite interesting thing.
All right,
lovely.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah,
I would check that out.
I think we should get another little drinky while we keep talking.
Yeah.
Because I want to...
So that's going to be a single barrel of our wheated bourbon.
Okay.
And then the red label will be the the rye single barrel.
Perfect. I think, should we go to a rye, your standard rye first to see?
Sure.
And it's going to be 98 proof.
98 proof.
And what I know about this recipe, this is a barely legal rye.
Yeah. So this is going to be literally 51 rye, 45 corn, 4 malted barley.
This is quite an interesting choice of a mash bill.
Yeah.
And I love that you pushed, you seem to be the kind of guy that just pushes boundaries.
This actually was a compromise.
Okay.
So the founder, Hank Ingram, he loves a sweet profile. I like weird, funky stuff, but it's not about me. So early on when we were maturing different mash bills to find out what we liked on the river, we had some 95.5s that I loved, and had some really just strange profiles. We were buying MGP at that time, so we were just getting whatever we could, and it was a trial phase.
And today you get from Green River?
Yes, yeah. So
and the same mash bill, right?
So we contract still with Green River now, and Bardstown. So actually, last year's lot was Bardstown rye. So this was a compromise, right? Because I love 95.5 ryes, I love high rye bourbons, everything in between.
Absolutely.
But Hank likes sweet, so this was a good way to still develop some of these nice, spicier, bold profiles that come through with the rye, but a higher corn content allows for a little bit more of the softer, sweeter notes that you're going to pull out and adhere with these different wood sugars. So you'll, at least for me, I find like the caramel vanilla quality comes through on the finish, and all of the spicier qualities are up front on the palate. But again, really nice mouthfeel. This is a little bit more like velvety to me.
But the nose, I'm mesmerized by this nose. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it's, not in the amount of heat that the nose has, but it whenever you do the nosing, you think you're gonna have something like with a lot more rich, deeper flavors than a 98 proof.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say it in the alcohol way. No, it's just
it's like heavier.
You get man, am I gonna drink 105, 110 proof because of the intensity?
Yeah, yeah.
It has some meatiness behind it. I don't know what it is.
So this is gonna be our third batch. So the third batch of this, the back label is gonna say aged minimum of 3 years. It's because we bought 28,000 labels at one time. So, and I'm not gonna...
Gotta make it work, right?
Yeah, but this was actually also, I think, 4 and 5 in this batch. I'd have to go back and look, but
Yeah.
I know it's at least 4 years in this.
I mean, let's cheer here.
Cheers.
Damn, I'm so ready to try this. Wow.
So, yeah, this, and I don't know, maybe it was what I just ate, but definitely like that red fruit quality.
That's what I was gonna say, but it has a little bit of dehydrated red fruit quality to it.
Yeah.
It's insane how,
Yeah.
and it's like you said, it's heavy. It has the spice is very mellow, not like a in your face typical. And you know, everybody thinks about dill and green apples right away with the rye, and I don't get any of that characteristic here.
Yeah. This is definitely gonna be. I mean, you'll find I find some pepper comes through, like especially on the back end, and it's just like it's a nice little tinkly pepper quality, but still just that sweetness, like mid palate to the end.
The sweetness, and like you said, it's not a very. It's just the red fruits that you were mentioning. It's just very pronounced, but without being like, it's just like a whisper.
Yeah.
But it's very noticeable.
Yeah.
One of the first things that I noticed, but it's not an essential like a front of the line note.
It's not assaulting, which I find like a lot of times you'll have, especially like the 95.5s, they're gonna be. I mean, rye's always gonna be a bolder whiskey.
Yeah.
But this is a good, approachable way to the rye category. Like if I got, a lot of times I will like have consumers try this and not tell them what they're trying. I mean, I'll ask them if like they're okay with trying something different.
Of course.
And this is a good way for a lot of people to find out that they actually do like rye whiskeys. They've just had rye whiskeys that
Can be a good
like,
bridge.
like, yeah, it truly is. I mean, we're not that far off from like one of my favorite mash bills, which is a 36 rye, 60 corn, 4 malt barley. I mean, like I cut my teeth with a 32 rye, like when I first got into the whiskey game, and that is still my favorite mash bill.
What was your introduction to the whiskey game?
I worked for Nelson's Greenbrier Distillery.
Okay.
So Bellmead Bourbon was what we were preaching that whole time, and I fell in love with it.
Nice.
I wasn't gonna get into whiskey. This was like 10 years ago now.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I was in college, needed a job, became a tour guide, and then just fell in love with the whole industry. And
That's super cool.
Yeah.
I can relate to your story because I come from a corporate America world, marketing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Then one day I was like, I want to be a bartender.
yeah,
And that's how it went. And
yeah.
11, 12 years later, here we are sitting together drinking whiskey.
You know, it's I think there's just on both ends of the spectrum there, like it's about the tradition and the work that goes into whether it's aging whiskey and blending or designing awesome cocktails. You know, it is, there's so much to it that's behind the scenes that I think really makes me appreciate an excellent cocktail.
Whenever you really get to see that, it changes your perspective about it. Like, and I'm gonna put it down all the way down to the simple level of taking a shot. I don't see it the same way. I don't like taking shots. And to me, whenever after you see the things that you see, going to distilleries, and I was very fortunate to go 3 days to the Jack Daniel's distillery. They took me for the backstage thing.
Cool. Yeah.
And I hung out for the whole 2 days with Kevin, their barrel man, and it just completely changes your view. And you see the family they are.
Yeah, I one of my favorite places. It's called Jig and Reel in Knoxville. And I went there. This would have been like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was chatting with one of their bartenders, and there was in their collection, because they have one of the largest Scotch collections in the United States. It's over like 1,000 bottles or something like that.
That's insane.
But they had a whiskey that was distilled before my grandfather was born, and then bottled when I was born. And I was just like, and it was a ridiculous price, but it was because
it's sentimental.
And that's what I mean. It's like there's someone's whole life was spent, during the time frame of those barrels being aged.
It is crazy, especially in the European whiskeys where they require a lot more time for reaching that mature level. There's things that the master distiller won't probably
he'll never get to see the finished product
exactly
of, and
which is very, very, if you really think about it, it's insane.
Yeah.
While we talk a little bit more about what's about your process, I think should we jump to which one do you like better?
So I think we should end with the rye single barrel.
Perfect.
So let's do the wheated.
Oh yeah.
Wheated next.
I'm sorry. I'm just so excited about this whole thing. I'm listening, but I'm not listening at the same time.
I got you. I love single barrel picks. I've become one of those people. I think they're, just like a good blend. There's really good single barrels out there.
I think in the world of whiskey, or the drinkers, the people who drink and enjoy whiskey, either it is geeking out, or sipping, or with Coke and whatever. Mm-hmm. You have the people that look for consistency, that they go to the standard blended bourbons.
Right.
But there's a big beauty in single barrels, and I'm a big fan of that lore of what is this barrel gonna taste like. Yeah. And if was it here, how much is gonna be different from the one that was down here? Yeah. And people don't know how much it impacts that. So, which that can lead us to some things about your Rickhouses that they're floating out.
Yeah. So for us, when we do single barrel picks, a party will come up to the lodge. So we have like 24 acres that overlooks the Mississippi River where our barges are and stuff. I'll usually get 5 to 6 samples of different barrels that I think are really good representations of single barrels, and they're going to be completely different profiles. So first floor for us is going to be a little bit earthier profile. It's going to be a little bit heavier, a little bit richer. Second floor is going to be a little bit, depending on the whiskey, a little bit brighter. Our bourbon is going to have like more of the dark molasses kind of qualities. The ryes are going to have the brighter like fruit notes. Mm-hmm. But again, every barrel is unique, right?
Of course.
So a big part about this is it's not just me picking it, although I think these ones I did pick myself for. Okay, so Joe's saying yes. So I did approve all these barrels.
Nice.
But they're so unique and like, so for this barrel, 704. So this lot code is 19F03. So June 3rd of 2019 is when these barrels were filled, and then these got dumped the beginning of this year. So you're looking at 6.5-year-old whiskey. Same 21 wheat, 70 corn, 9 malted barley.
Nice. I'm very curious about something. Despite you having the job of being a master blender, do you have a template? I mean, you have to taste everything, right? But do you follow a specific template that you know more or less already? I start with this and this and this, and then I tweak it. But do you have a template that you know already that you follow a little bit?
So for like our core products, our ethos is consistency, but there's always room for improvement.
Exactly.
Right. So as we continue to grow and age as a company, our lot codes become more expansive, and I have more tools on the tool belt to create whiskeys with more depth and improved qualities. So like our next batches of these whiskeys are going to taste, better each time.
I'm excited to. I mean, if you guys take me as part of the family, I want to be part of the family.
Hey, man, you're more than welcome. I think at one point, and Hank might regret saying this, but when we talk to consumers, sometimes he'll say like, "This is the worst the whiskey's ever going to be." And this is what it's
That's
like
a
now.
great motto.
So I do like that, but I also kind of hints that our whiskey isn't good.
Exactly.
I don't 100% agree with that.
But it's kind of like a mind, like messing with the mind of people. You know what I mean?
It can only go up from here.
Yeah.
And that is true. And I think like whether it is our single barrels that continue to develop more unique, fun, weird qualities, or like our mainstay products having more character and depth, it is a true statement that is the worst it will ever be.
Which is, if you think about it, I'm just coming from a marketing guy, I'm like, oh yeah, that's
should we
cool.
say that? Yeah.
No, but I think it's cool actually.
Yeah.
Cheers, man.
Hey, cheers.
Because I'm dying to try this.
So
Man, we just jumped into deeper chocolate territory.
Yeah. Even on the nose, I mean,
You get so much chocolate from this.
yeah.
And it's like that dark chocolate that is a little bit bitter, but not overly tannic, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Sort of like cocoa nib.
Cocoa
you know?
nib, that's
Yeah.
you take the words out of my...
Yeah. Yep. This is like a 120 proof, I think.
That
for
is,
this in the barrel?
what is it, 121.8.
120, okay.
And it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I love tasting this kind of stuff.
Yeah, same.
Look, come,
hey.
come say hi.
Thank you, Joe. Joe, come say hi. So Joe also brought another special treat. So, batch 5 of our flagship as well. So
Man, this is so
yeah,
damn cool.
that's what we'll end it on then.
Wow.
So
Man.
every year, it is my honor to get to do our release of the flagship, which is meant to represent whatever we thought was really fun and unique on the barge that year. So it's always different, whether it's the batch size or the proof or the age or the mash bill. It always changes. That's kind of the fun part about it.
Exactly. It's kind of your exploratory expression.
Yeah, which making it your highest tier item. I don't know if exploratory is always the best thing to do it with, but hey, we always do everything ass backwards anyway, so it kind of makes sense. But it is always good. I will always say that.
It can only get
It can only get better from here. But this is one of my favorite mash bills, which is a 36 rye, 60 corn, 4 malted barley.
Nice.
So
This is so awesome, man.
yeah.
I'm very, very, very like blown away with, of course, because I feel like, right away, whenever you can hang out with somebody and just like,
Yeah.
I know if we didn't have like Joe on like having a time limit for us, we could go for like 5 hours and we'll get really drunk probably.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I wouldn't just be drinking our stuff.
Yeah.
We would be
What do you
pulling
got over there?
some other stuff off the shelf. But yeah, so we'll definitely end with flagship.
That sounds good, man. Yeah.
Cool.
I think it would be really cool because you're a great example of great whiskey. Whenever you put your resources and your energy into something that you perfect something, I like to tell people that sourcing whiskey, there's nothing wrong with that.
I agree.
And it's a matter of allocation of resources and energy and what you want to do.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, sorry, before
No. Yeah.
we have people like in every industry, there's people that are shady and they do things and they put a bad name on things like over price gauging, and they're not doing anything interesting. They're not doing anything. They're just literally grabbing and rebranding and boom.
Yeah.
But there's people like you guys that you get an untouched white dog and you start from there.
Yeah. So
And you put a very fair price tag on it.
yeah. Well, that's the other. I mean, that is a big point of I think why we're successful is that we are competitive with our pricing, and I think it's super important. But to that point, a couple things that I think are important for a lot of education is we are contract distilling, right? So they are our recipes, someone else's kitchen, which is super. I mean, it's not. It is a big distinction between sourcing because it's something
That's
that we
true, because it's contract,
we designed. We take in these mash bills.
Absolutely right. There's a distinction.
So, and it was through trial and error, right? Like we bought stuff that we either liked or didn't like, and then went from there to find our mainstay mash bills that we knew worked really well on the barge. But as far as sourced whiskey goes, I mean, some of my favorite whiskeys are brands that have just done a really good job at blending and finishing in one aspect or the other. Because yes, you can just buy in bulk a lot code, blend it together, slap a label on it, and sell it to retailer on premise. And that in the past did work for some brands for a long time. But as the whiskey consumer continues to get more and more educated, I think you're going to see a shift. I think a lot of those brands are probably going to die out because
Exactly.
people are caring more and more about the quality that goes
Absolutely.
into the whiskey and the care that goes into the whiskey. But that doesn't mean that there isn't a place for sourced whiskeys.
Absolutely.
So, you know, shout out to one of my favorites, Found North, like doing some phenomenal stuff, and they're getting these different age ranges and really focusing on the blending and the finishing aspects of what makes whiskey great. And there's so many layers from start to finish making whiskey that you can spend your whole life getting good at just the one half of it. And truthfully, as long as you're really good at that one half of it, the other stuff doesn't matter quite as much.
Yeah.
So I would like to think that we're definitely a blending house first and growing out the distillery second. By the way, we have a still now, and we're opening for tours. Shameless plug. We're opening for tours next month, April.
Hell yeah.
So please come and visit.
I might take a trip over there myself.
I think you should, man. It's a lot of fun.
I would love to. I haven't been to Kentucky in a little bit.
Okay.
And I need to revisit because my trip there, it was in 2021, I believe, for the Bourbon Fest.
Yeah. Okay.
It was quite an experience.
A lot of things have changed.
Dude, I can imagine. And it was right whenever Heaven Hill was in strike.
Oh, yeah.
It was literally that moment. And it was such an odd trip because I didn't know what to expect. So we get there to Bardstown. Oh, let's go eat. So we go to the Scholar, something like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I run into Brent Elliott. And he's standing there like because they had a barrel pick. And I just like start fanboying over. And so I go talk to him. And then for the next 35 to 45 minutes, we spent like just talking. He was the coolest guy ever.
Yeah, I think that's most people in this industry. They're just whiskey nerds that love it as much as everyone else does.
And it got crazier because then we went to Wild Turkey. Everybody's like barely opening up.
Yeah.
I get a bottle of Rare Breed, and the lady's, hey, Jimmy Ross is right over there. You want to go talk to him? And I'm like,
no kidding. I
swear to God.
Yeah.
And he was just sitting there in his chair with his mask and everything. And I go like, sir, like, 'cause I had never met him before. And same thing, 35 to 40 minutes, like talking about life. And it was phenomenal.
Yeah, I heard it's a great experience just to get to chat with him.
Yeah.
I mean, he just seems like a wealth of knowledge and a cool guy.
And it was like, imagine for my first trip and like, just like this weird moments, like, what the hell?
Yeah, man. But there's a lot of cool stuff in Kentucky now since 2021.
I'm excited to go again. And I think I'm gonna go soon because my friend Will from Herradura and we have a trip planned over there.
Cool.
I'll hit you up as soon as I go.
Please do, man. I mean, we're not exactly in the heart of it where all the other fun stuff is.
It's totally worth the drive, yeah. This
is batch 5 of our flagship series.
Which one, when did you come up with your first one?
So the first...
So rude.
No, that's... please, it's fine. Pour yourself. It would have been... I think it's going to kill me. I don't know if I remember. I think it was 2021 was our first year of flagship. It was, because we launched a straight whiskey, and then a rye, and then the bourbon, and then flagship. So 2021 was our first year. So the first year was all single barrels that we cut to 100 proof, and then made little hang tags for each account that wanted one, which was crazy, and I hope I never have to do that again. That was insane. The second year, we did a small batch blend at 100 proof. The third year was 45 wheat. That would have been 2023. Last year, 2024's, we're in 2026. 2024's was a high rye bourbon. That was, I think, 6 barrels, and it was 116.5 proof. And so this year is the same lot code, so same mash bill. This was 8 barrels, and it's 116.5 proof. So
number 50 on the next list.
Yeah, and this was on Minix Top 100. So was last year's, which that's always cool to see.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. It's like you made it.
Yeah.
Mom, I made it.
Which and that that's just like you never really know because I don't really have anything to do with the marketing side of the business, so I definitely never really know. But it's always cool to get the text the next day where Hank's like, "Hey, we got this one." I'm like, "Hell yeah!" So,
and then you're like, "Yes,
yeah."
Like the meme of the guy that is like,
yeah. But this is probably one of my favorite mash bills. This is one of my favorite mash bills.
Man, all of the noses that I've had so far are very outstanding. Not that the sipping experience is not, but like the noses are outstanding.
Which when you come onto the barge, you'll understand these products even more because there is just like an inherent smell that comes along with the barge that I can't really describe very well. The best I can really come up with is it's like a mix of honeycomb and like old library.
Wow.
And I don't really know what else because it is just such because you're thinking like it's a giant metal bucket. It's very industrial. Then obviously you have like the smells from the barrels themselves. And our wood planks and stuff like that. So it's this combination of like metallic and
the Brady yeasty thing that you get.
Yeah, and the first floor is kind of like a cellar, so there's a little bit of like an earthy quality to it, and it's just this wide array of flavors that combine themselves to create this really
magnificent.
Unique, yeah. There's nothing else quite like it.
All hail Ingram.
I'll take it. All hail Ingram. Hank will love that.
Crap. No, man, that's something else.
Yeah. So this would have been, at the time, the oldest thing that we produced. So this is like, that lot code was 18E. So I would have put it at seven years. I keep looking at Joe because Joe can just do the math like right away.
He's our math guy. we do the drinking, he does the math.
Yeah, Joe does the math. So yeah, this was like 7 years and change. But just a really, really wonderful, complex. Every time I go back to it, it changes on me, which I think is always a fun sign of a good whiskey.
This is so freaking insane. We were talking about dried red fruits on the other one. This one is a little bit more on the racing side, like a little bit of dry fruit too, but I get a little bit of like darker fruits.
And like to me, I'm like cinnamon graham cracker. That's just coming off of my breath.
Of course.
And it's, yeah. It's a fun one. It truly is.
Man, so like it's. I get that a lot too, but like it has a interesting notes of fruit. It's very fruity in a sense.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, this one is staying here.
It's not my bottle.
He's like right away. I'm like,
you can fight Joe for that one. That's fine.
Oh man, I don't think I want to do that. He's a master. I don't know if you know that, but he's like a kung fu master.
Is that true, Joe? that could be true, and I would never know.
I wish you guys could see Joe right now. He's like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Truly, Joe has such a wide array of experiences, like from nightclubs to the oil industry. He's lived 100 lives in one lifetime.
For all we know, he could be a secret spy or something.
That could be.
He could be like the Born Identity or something like that. Man, this has been amazing. I think I would love to touch on the Uncharted real quick because this is gonna be a different wheated bourbon.
Yeah.
How do you differentiate this wheated bourbon with this one?
So this was something, truthfully, that we wanted to come out with for a while. It was designed to be a cost value product. Okay. So we wanted something that was very affordable, high quality, and multi-purpose, right? Like this is the Swiss Army knife of our lineup. So you can pour Coke in this and I could care less. It's gonna be good no matter what you do with it. So I designed 3 different proofs for this, and we took it to tails, and then I let bartenders try it blind. The 3 different the 3 different proofs, and it was an interesting case study on its own because they loved 96 proof and they loved 92 proof. Okay. Obviously, 92 proof ended up winning. But it is, again, like the wheated bourbons are just so balanced. So I'm
a big wheated bourbon lover.
Yeah, I mean, they're fantastic. Still, definitely not as heavy of a mouthfeel as the 105 proof, but will stand out well in a cocktail.
You mind if I go ahead and taste right now?
Yeah, please. I'm going to finish off my flagship here. Yes, please. I'm not driving.
I love that. That's the attitude we need around more often.
You know, so this is going to be. Sorry. This is going to be 3 different lot codes together. So this is 4, 5, and 6 year. It's majority 5 year. The first batch of this was 47 barrels. So 7 of those barrels were 6 year. What? Should I not say that?
No, it's not that you shouldn't say it. It's just the fact that I didn't know it was that old.
Oh, sorry. Surprise!
Surprise! It didn't have straight on it, and I'm just like, what the?
So yeah, I mean, sorry, Joe. Joe should probably know this. He is our sales guy. This is me doing a bad job at my job.
Come here.
Thankfully, Hank will never see this video.
Have you ever heard of blackmailing?
No, don't do that to me. Joe, do you want a glass?
No, I'm driving. I actually am the DD.
Sorry, buddy. So Uncharted is going to be 47 barrels. So 7 of them were 6-year-old. 10 of them were 4-year-old, and then the rest were 5-year-old bourbons at the time. So I ended up kind of making consistency hard on this for myself because, we only have X number of lot codes that we take in every year. But we'll do the backwards math. And again, our ethos is consistency with improvement over time. So Uncharted, again, this will be the worst it ever is. But again, we wanted something that was going to be like bartender friendly. So this is, we tried to make it more visibility, right? So if you do go to batch cocktails, you can use this glass, know what it is. It's 100% recycled. It's a agglomerated cork. So that is like the components of the remainder of natural cork compressed together, which has a longer shelf life.
I mean, it's a pretty bottle. It works well I like it a lot from a standpoint of like aesthetics. If I didn't have to judge the liquid inside, the juice, I mean, it's a great bottle.
Yeah, if no one's in the store, right, and you're looking through the sea or the river of whiskeys on the shelf, Joe's shaking his head at me. This does stand out on its own, and there's some like fun hints in here that we never really talk about, but obviously we have our signature brand icon at the top. But if you think about like a barge, or if you think about a push boat pushing barges downriver, the way Uncharted looks like a push boat pushing barges down the river, which is a fun little call out to the barge industry.
Hell yeah!
But this product was designed to be embracing the unconventional, and so that's what we've done with this. We're taking really good whiskey and making it very affordable, which you don't really see a lot.
No,
that
everybody
should be
wants
the
to make
standard,
money,
but
I mean, yeah.
So let me ask a question. Scott, is there anything about the bottle cap that might be indicative of something special that a consumer might enjoy as an Easter egg?
Well, Joe, now that you mention it, we do have our helm of one of our push boats on the top there, and it's also a compass. Not a real compass, obviously. Hank did want to do that, but that was going to be way too expensive for a bottle that cost $30 to $40. Right? So,
and what about the mainline products?
And so thank you, Joe. This is why you're here, because you keep me in line. So for our mainline products, when it comes to a batch, at least as of now, this is going to be harder when our second barge has like 4-year plus barrels on there, but we'll get to that later. I guess I'll figure that out later.
We'll cross that river when we come to it.
Yeah, thank you. The puns keep on coming. But we put our barge number for whatever barge the barrels were on when that batch came together. And we do have 2 barges now, and there are actually 2 different numbers out there in the marketplace because we designed our first barge. At that point, it housed like 2,500 barrels, and then we needed a second barge to take in more whiskey. So we retrofitted that and changed it up where now there's a floor, and we can fit about 3,000 barrels in there. So we took all the whiskey off that first barge, moved on to our second one. So that is 4908, and then we redesigned that first barge again to now also house about 3,000 barrels. But that now has all of our new fill whiskey from the past 2 years. So that is a problem for me, 2 years from now. So hopefully I'll have it figured out by then. But I'm not worrying about it today.
No, you shouldn't.
Yeah. Today's for whiskey.
You have a great weekend ahead of you.
Yeah.
A few days. You're going to be with my friend Smoking and Toasting tomorrow.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. These people are really cool people. You're going to love them. And then we have
and whiskey.
Yeah.
And then Whiskey Riot.
Whiskey Riot is going to be phenomenal, which we're going to be with you over there, guys. Whiskey Riot, there's going to be a lot of footage coming out of there. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
We're going to get Joseph drunk.
Yeah, Joe's looking forward to
it. But it's been a pleasure having you guys. You have no idea how much fun I had with you, Scott, and with Joseph. You guys are, whenever I knew you were coming, I didn't, you never know what to expect. And it's been a lovely experience meeting you, man.
Yeah, same. Yeah, same on my end. You never really know who you're going to be talking to in front of a camera for X amount of time. So I'm glad that you're a cool guy.
Same, dude. It's been a pleasure. And thank you guys for joining us. And I'm so excited to put this out for you guys. And please go drink some Ingram whiskey because it's going to blow your socks off.
It's the worst it'll ever be. Dude, we can't end it with that.